Come on.
That's a beast.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of a dude who spends $40 on his haircuts but throws it underneath a beanie. Great investment. Well, as you can read by today's video title, I made a recent trip out to Wyoming, and just a quick tangent, there's actually a way for you, the audience member, to travel with me on a big trip in 2022, so next year. There's a link down in the description below that you can check out to fill out that form on how we're going to organize that. But if you want to have the full details, you could skip in these chapters below in the timeline and skip to the section where I talk about that, but we'll get to that later. For 3 weeks in a row now, I've been hopping on a plane to go somewhere else, one of them being in LA to collab with Mike Gray, the second one to shoot a wedding out in Seattle, which was super fun, and to cap off the 3-week saga, I went to Wyoming. And as a photographer for like X amount of years now, Wyoming has never been on my radar. It's always been the West Coast, the East Coast, and maybe Utah, but Wyoming has never really been at the top of my priority list until I saw the album cover for Yay. I heard about the Grand Tetons, but I never knew what it looked like, and I definitely didn't know what it looked like during Blue Hour or Golden Hour. So when my work calendar lined up and I bought my ticket to Salt Lake City to drive to Wyoming, I packed up my Leica M6 and my Mamiya 7 and tons of film, and then your boy was ready for the long journey ahead.
This is the worst. There's no way.
So on day one, my friend and I just set up camp. We chilled at a place called Jenny Lake, and I was planning out the destinations that I was going to be hitting for enjoyment, but also for places that I was going to be making some photographs for work. More on that later.
Look how beautiful that is. The colors. Oh man, if I had the X-Pan, I'd get like a super nice panoramic of this entire landscape, horizon. The sun rays are unreal. The colors are pretty accurate. iPhone's kind of boosting some of the colors, but damn.
So in my mind, the Mamiya 7 and the Leica M6 individually are very light and portable cameras, so when I packed them up on my bag, it seemed pretty fine. But I was going to be in for a rude awakening on day 2, because day 2 we were going to do my third hardest hike of my life, and that hike is called Delta Lake. But before that nightmare began, I woke up for sunrise on day 2, and my friend and I drove out to Mormon Row to take some sunrise photos of some iconic architecture that Jackson, Wyoming has to offer.
That is first light. Framing up the Tetons with this. I have no idea what this is. I love using natural framing to kind of use my environment to tell a better story of the photographic scene. Also, the morning light is coming in more stronger and contrastier, so that's awesome too.
the smoke cleared out that morning, or just enough to see the sunrise hit the peak of the Grand Tetons. Unfortunately, the days before, there has been so much smoke from the fires that have been raging on all over the West Coast. It's fire season out here right now, and it's just kind of a regular occurrence, unfortunately, but I got lucky enough to get a good enough clearance to snag some very good photos. After I was done making those great sunrise photos, I took some rest, ate a little bit, and I packed up for what was going to be the third hardest hike of my entire life. Number one being the Half Dome in Yosemite. Super incredibly hard, but super worth it. Number two would be the 20-ish mile round trip backpacking trip that I made in 105-degree heat in the Grand Canyons towards the Havasupai Native American Reservation. And number three being this nightmare. So I didn't make any photos on the way up to Delta Lake. I was just focused on not dying from falling, not dying from dehydration, not dying from hunger. So I just wanted to get up there, then take the photos, relax, enjoy the moment. But on the way up, it was absolute hell.
Where's the trail, bruh? Gotta climb all this, bruh.
But after all the gruel and after all the pain, I made it up to the top, and it was definitely worth all the hard work.
We made it. Oh my god, we made it. Oh, give me the off this rock. Oh god damn. Oh, let me get over this rock again. Let me get over this rock. Oh. Oh. Worth it. Freaking worth it.
So if you look at a typical picture of the Grand Tetons, I was right up there at the end of it, which is pretty insane. It's kind of crazy that there's even a lake up there. It was so emerald. The wind was blowing a little bit violently up there, but when you kind of just sit down and wait for the wind to settle down, it's a perfect area to chill and kind of bask in nature. But I highly recommend this hike if you are willing to endure a little bit of grit and a little bit of sweat. Alright, so on day 3, woke up for sunrise again, and this time we photographed at a place called Schwabacher Landing? Wait, hold on. Schwabacher Landing, that's what it's called. The location was pretty tight. Nice reflection in the river. The sunrise was as beautiful as ever. It was a little bit more clear than day 2, so I was very appreciative of that. There were a lot of photographers that swarmed this area, so it was really hard to get a composition that didn't involve any guests or unwanted guests in the photo. And then right when the sun was out, there was a group of ducks that just started swimming into the river, and then it messed up the reflection. But luckily for me, got all my photos. For the rest of the folks, can't really speak for them. And then this leads me to one of the more fun parts of the trip, and there was this area called, hold on, Phelps Lake. It's called Phelps Lake. This was a super easy hike. It was just 4 miles round trip, but I was exhausted, so I wasn't really feeling it to begin with. But when I got to Phelps Lake, there's this gigantic rock that's called the Jumping Rock, I think. And I think it's 15 to 20 feet high, and it's meant for, you know, campers or hikers to take a dive into the deep blue of Phelps Lake, and it was so fun. This didn't really have to do with anything about work in Wyoming. This was more for my enjoyment, and the experience and the photos were fantastic. Now, I'm a little bit of an adrenaline junkie. I love to seek out excitement, but this jump, my body really couldn't comprehend how it worked.
3, 2, 1, yeah!
That like 3 seconds when you're going, you're just like you're like.
When I was running at the top of that rock and I jumped, I guess my body expected me to land in a second or less, because why else would I be jumping 15 feet off the ground? But as my body realized that I was still falling and I was still accelerating into the ground, I just like shocked up and I froze up, and then I just landed and hit the water. It hurt, it was a little bit scary, but once I like popped out of the water, everything was just nice. If you are ever going to Grand Tetons National Park, highly suggest jumping off that rock at Phelps Lake. I suggest doing it 3 times actually, at a minimum. I told that to every single ongoer that I passed when I was exiting Phelps Lake. So if you ever make a trip out there, jump off at least 3 times. Swear to you, you will thank me later. The entire trip, the work I made there, the fun photos I made there was seriously a 10 out of 10 experience. If you thought this video was fun and you want to make photos with me or kind of learn my philosophy, how I edit, how I shoot, maybe use some of my equipment, you can. There is totally an opportunity for you to do that as an audience member, to join me next year in 2022. There's a link down in the description below, and it's going to link you to some forums. It's going to be a gigantic list of locations that maybe you would want to travel with me. It's going to be a group trip capped at 20 people. All of you who want to travel with me will pick some of the destinations that you want to go to, select some of your budget, and then with time, I will select it all the way down to one destination with one price tag, and we all get to travel together, make photos together, and just make great memories. So if you want to do that, there is a link down in the description below. So I highly recommend you hit that up, because there are only 20 spots maximum to do this. So that's all I have for you guys in today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, and comment down below about what you thought of the photos, and I will see you in that next one. Peace.